In this video, I'm going to respond directly to a question that's in a comment because there's something about the way this question is phrased that it just lends itself perfectly to an explanation that I think is important to give. So I've created 370 common Spanish phrases with AI, and I'm studying them using Anki flashcards. Is memorization the best way to learn these, or would you recommend another approach? After gathering useful phrases, what's the best next step to truly learn the language? Excellent question. All right. 370 common Spanish phrases in Spanish is awesome. That's totally cool. Now, what if you could memorize all of those? That would probably be good, right? However, just having memorized phrases doesn't necessarily mean that you can communicate with those phrases. All it means is that you can recall them. But we're not interested in recall, but rather reflex. That's a big mantra in the method. Reflex, not recall. So I'm going to present to you a 3-tier tower system that's going to show you the priority, okay? The first tier is patterns. Patterns, all right? The grammatical patterns. If one of your 370 Spanish phrases is the cats are drinking milk, and that's kind of a parody phrase, right? More of one of those apps that tell you silly things. I'm not saying that's the best phrase to learn. However, it does have useful pattern information that you can extract from it, like the DNA from a mosquito, and to create, Jurassic Park type of thing. You can extract the DNA, extract the pattern, and use it to generate other things. So the cats are drinking milk in Spanish would be los gatos están tomando leche, right? If that's one of the phrases that you're trying to memorize, I want to point out the difference between memorization for the sake of memorization for recall and memorization for reflex, okay? That's the major distinction. So, memorization for the sake of recall is los gatos están tomando leche, and you come along and you say, okay, well, give me a flashcard. How do you say the cats are drinking milk? And I go, los gatos están tomando leche. Oh, very good. You got it. Okay, good job. Give me your next flashcard. Oh, how do you say the couple days later the cats are drinking milk? Oh, yeah. Los gatos están tomando leche. I'm practicing a recall only, okay? Reflex is if there was a question on the back of that card that said, what are the cats doing right now? Oh, the cats are, los gatos están tomando leche. Or if the question said, what are the cats drinking? So, los gatos están tomando leche. Are the cats drinking juice? No. Los gatos no están tomando jugo. Los gatos están tomando leche. Every expression in every one of those 370 expressions asks at least one question. Many ask more than one question. So the cats are drinking milk asks the question, what are the cats drinking? What are the cats doing? What's going on in your house right now? I'm traveling to Cuba in May answers the question, what are your plans for spring? You're traveling to what country? You're traveling to Cuba when? Okay. So if you can induce yourself to say those 370 Spanish phrases, not through recall, not through, how do you say it? How do you translate that? Do you remember how to say that? It's not about remembering how to say it. It's about actually needing to say it, right? So it's about expressing thoughts, not memorizing words. Tier 2 is Q&A, questions and answers. That's what we've just talked about. I like to use question cards. I will put a question on one side, answer on the other. So, what are the cats doing? ¿Qué están haciendo los gatos? Los gatos están tomando leche. Make 370 question cards. That way you're not just trying to memorize words, but actually quizzing yourself, actually having to answer the question. Do you understand? You're not trying to say the cats are drinking milk. You're trying to tell me what the cats are doing. The top tier is real people. So you mentioned truly learn a language. I think that's why I caught on to this question so much, to truly learn a language. Well, what's the real measure at the end of the day of how well you know a language and if you've really learned it? Starting at tier 1, it's not about how many words you know. I'd rather you know 10 words and be able to converse just with those 10 than know 10,000 words and not be able to converse. So a better metric than how many words you know is how many questions you can answer. If I ask you, what are the cats doing? What are the dogs doing? What's going on in your house right now? What are your plans for the weekend? If I can keep asking you questions and be able to answer them, that's a good metric to see how well you know the language. But truly have learned the language, I could know 370 Spanish expressions. I could be able to answer 370 questions that you ask me in Spanish. But if I walked outside right now and went around the corner and jumped into a street party where everyone's speaking Spanish, would I be comfortable? Would I be able to use it there? Would I be able to say relevant stuff? Would I be able to think on my feet? Like if someone asked me, oh, what's going on? Am I going to say something cool? Or am I going to say like, the cats are drinking milk? Where's the bathroom? Like the library, you know? So the top of the castle, the top of the tower there, it's how well you can do with real people. To train with real people, the only way to do that is with real people. It can be online, it can be apps where you interact with people live and unscripted. But in my opinion, to be able to say that you truly speak a language, it means that you know the patterns of the language so you can think on your feet in theory. You're practiced in the back and forth sport of questions and answers. But most importantly, I can actually use the language live, unscripted, on my feet with native speakers whom I'm just meeting. Hope that helps. Thanks for your comment. It's a very good question, and let me know what you think. Buena suerte.